joining us today. We're in Garriguella, in the village of Garriguella, here at the Cooperativa. We're ready to have some fun, and I'm ready to learn and taste. Flame on. Tell us about the Cooperativa, the history, kind of like where it started, and kind of bring us up to date as to where it is today.
Vale. Digue'ns una mica la història de la cooperativa, com es va fundar, com va començar i on està avui en dia.
La cooperativa es va fundar ara aquesta brema fa 51 anys, i es va fundar que un grup de socis es van ajuntar entrant l'anyada de rims, i a través d'això després va començar a construir-se, i el soci, per exemple, quan entrava l'anyada no cobrava els rims, sinó cap d'un any més tard.
Vale.
Se va financiar a través dels rims i a través d'això se va anar aixecar l'empresa.
Well, the whole thing started back in 1963. Now this will be the 51st grape harvest. And the idea was that first year, everybody, all of the farmers in the area, all of the viticultures, the vine growers in the area, basically brought in their grapes here, pressed their grapes here, and from that first year's grape harvest money, they were able to start establishing what the cooperative is today.
Cabernet, perquè era abans dels cabernets i molta garnatxa, que era el típic d'aquí.
Yeah.
Però el meu pare estava en contra.
Yeah.
Del
cabernet?
No, de que jo treballés a l'agricultura.
Ah, vale. When he decided to work with the vineyards and planting more, and he planted Cabernet, which at the time was a little bit the fashion, his dad was against his ending up working in the agricultural business. He didn't want him involved in the vineyards. He thought it was something that he should just continue doing, but not that his son should take over. Qué interesante.
Ell no volia que no me dedico a això, però ell no volia que plantés vinya ni que dediqués a això, perquè ell ho ha patit.
He's always suffered from it. I mean, if you're basically a farmer or a vine grower or a viticulture, you know that it depends. Every year, you might see basically your yield come to naught, or you might actually have to worry too much about the herbicides or products that you need to use, etc. There's a lot of work involved. So his father didn't want him to choose that.
Well, it has to be flattering to your father that you grew up watching your father work and you decided to follow in his footsteps, as opposed to because his father didn't have to push him. A lot of families, they have to push them and say, "Oh, why this is the family business."
Home, també deu ser una alegria pel teu pare, un turó gairebé veure que tu has decidit seguir en la seva línia quan en general han d'empènyer perquè tu agafis el que sempre s'ha fet a la família. He says that now his dad is happy.
No sé com definir.
He says he's crazy.
It's almost like telling the old man. It's like, we use those terms in English. It's like telling the old man, that Dad, you actually kind of had it figured out. It's like you may have not thought that you have, a good life, but you do. It's a huge compliment, I think, to somebody's father to say,
És una manera...
Vaig ser el que vaig promoure, que es fer la cooperativa, i vaig anar a buscar un senyor gran que havia estudiat per capellà.
Ara, he was the one who started the idea of setting up the cooperative, and he went to look for someone who could help him, and it was a man who had studied to be basically a priest.
Un company meu que era més gran.
A friend of his who was older.
Després un senyor que era molt responsable.
A man who was a very responsible person in the community.
I jo llavors vaig ser com vaig començar a fer el volum per poder fer una reunió.
Vale. And this was how he set up this first little group, and what he did is get together the volume or the gross weight of the grapes to be able to set up this cooperative.
Half Catalan and half German. My father is one of the immigrants. He went, I think, 57 to Germany. He got married, and I spent there 30 years of my life. So But I wasn't there without coming. Every year we came, or every year at the beginning less, but then we came every 2 or 3 years, and then every year or sometimes twice, and I have a big group of friends here.
I tant.
Sí. Nosaltres, llavors, aquí, el primer any, esclar, els que eren compradors apretaven que no cobrareu, que és la cooperativa de pobres.
Sí. Everybody who used to buy at very cheap prices kept prodding them, telling them, you won't be able to get any money for your grapes.
Amb aquestes que vàrem entrar als rims, aquí, i vàrem anar en el banc a demanar un crèdit.
But when they first brought in their grapes, what they did is they went to the bank and asked for a loan.
Però els cacics del poble van anar al banc que no ens fessin crèdit.
And those 4 families, strong families, went to the banks and told them, don't give them any credit. Don't give them the loan.
Només hi va haver un banc
There was only one bank.
que ens va escoltar, que era el Banc Central.
Central?
El Central.
Central. Now it doesn't exist, but the only bank that was willing to listen to them was el Banc Central.
I amb aquestes fèiem la pilota. Saps què és la pilota?
Sí.
Fèiem la pilota. Com que no teníem cèntims i érem pobres, enviaven la lletra, cobraven, i nosaltres anàvem a Barcelona, agafàvem els cèntims que es donava a l'empresa i els tornaven a portar i tornaven a girar una lletra.
Okay, so basically the idea was they would get money from one place to pay the next debt, but they weren't able to return any of the money. So the bank would start asking them to give back the money that they had first placed, and they would have to ask another bank in Barcelona to lend them the money so that they could pay that first bank, and this is what is called fer la pilota. Basically, it was making the ball bigger. Like an avalanche.
Well, that's pretty much how all Americans live now.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that. Right now, taking it all in. It's like so much more vast. Beautiful.
I després, esclar, al rebre la carta ens va contestar que el teníem concedit.
And Franco answered saying that the credit that they had asked for was granted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sí, i això...
Of all the unlikely allies...
Sí, és un aliat ben probable.
És que estàvem arruïnats.
Sí, they were in ruins. But actually, if you think about it, the law of cooperatives in 1942 was set up by Franco.
Oh, okay.
So,
I després, en Carrero Blanco, n'he sentit parlar, era el segon d'en Franco, que ara hi ha la carta arxivada aquí, que ens contesta que no es pot passar, que s'ha de fer per escalafon, que no havien d'anar directament i no fessin mai més.
Carrero Blanco, who was his right hand, Franco's right hand, also wrote them a letter, and that letter is in their archives, saying, how dared you get in touch directly with Franco? You should have come to me. Don't ever dare address him personally yourselves.
Està arxivat, està arxivat.
Yeah, that letter is away.
I bueno, i amb aquest fet és allà on hem arribat ara. Els cellers que hi havia fora en Roig, els demés han plegat i ens hem quedat nosaltres.
Val. The Mas Yunus Roig is also a member of our cooperative. We work very well together. But as he was saying, this was basically the way it was established. The other
recently fermented. Looks like lemonade, but this is wine. In fact, this is actually going to be this when it's finished. This is how it starts.
Digue'ns què és el que tu notes en aquest moment.
Wonderful from beginning to end.
I actualment encara ara, l'anyada l'entrem ara, el mes de setembre-octubre, i no la liquidem fins tota liquidada fins l'any que ve. Sempre anem un any al pagès, fa de banc i fa d'empresari. Ell entrega l'anyada i després amb això s'inverteix i després el que queda es reparteixen, però tarden un any a cobrar l'anyada que entren al mes de setembre d'aquest any.
Now they're entering their grapes. The grape harvest will soon be over, September, October. Yeah. But they're not going to see the money for those grapes until next year. So basically, he's saying that the farmer is basically a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a banker at the same time, who basically has his stock on hold.
An element of trust has to be.
An element of trust, sí, que hi ha d'haver un element de confiança, perquè si no, no deixes els diners d'una anyada a l'altra.
El funcionament és aquest, tothom portem l'anyada i després, quan tu has acabat l'any, saps el que has gastat en infraestructures o inversions així, i saps el que te queda d'aquesta anyada. I vas absorbint, i a través de bancs, no ho fem pas tot al comptat, vull dir, funciona així una cooperativa.
Well, basically he's saying all of them, and he includes himself, because he's one of the ones who has the biggest expanse of land, basically. All of them do this idea of bringing in the grapes and then seeing what needs to be covered, what costs need to be covered. And then afterwards, they settle the difference.
For you, it's like your interest in the wine, it's like you refer to it as a hobby, but there's a certain amount of passion that is more important than the money that it generates.
Yes, I have to say that this is a vineyard in the mountains. And mountains are not very high mountains, but it's not the same like here. And there are not lots of kilos coming out of it, so it's not really a business. No, it doesn't really. It's a hobby, and that's it.
Difference, but it's this.
And these haven't reached it
right.
yet. It might be a matter of 1 foot. You know, eventually they will get there.
Yes. Però té raó, és que cada any s'ha d'explicar aquella anyada, i ho ha d'explicar el vi. I això no pot passar si no hi ha lleis d'irrigació i podem fer el que volen.
No, però vull dir, tu veus d'aquí cap aquí, d'allà cap allà hi ha irrigació.
Sí.
Jo, i té un celler que sé que està molts calés. Però la filosofia no és la que busco jo.
There are some people who may irrigate here. But that's not the philosophy he wants to follow.
Yeah, I tell them, this is a cooperativa, but we have to handle it like a business. Yes. It has to work, because if we work it in the right way, everybody who brings
something in,
the wine or the grapes, they get more for the kilo of the grapes.
Yes.
So it's interesting. And some other people, they are the older ones, they say, no, we have to do it in another way, we are a big family. Yes, we are a big family.
But there has to be structure.
It has to be. It needs a structure. We have a lot of structure now, but not enough. I think we need good people working here, and we need an idea where we want to go. We have a good direction now.
Yes,
but we have to look on the small things. Yes. So we are working on this, and
we have to polish things.
Yeah, we have to polish lots of things. But it's very, very, very. I think it's very nice what the Cooperativa did the last 5 years, or maybe I'm here for 2 years now
in the board of directors.
But we have to do these things. We have to get it better, and I think we can do it.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.